Hey, check, check. All right, looks good. Welcome all. We have an Agricola arena game here against Zach, who's doing a terrible job of parking and has fallen down to second place. And JDI, who's pretty good, and then this XPWZ player who I don't recognize and is a 181. So, kind of three pretty good players and somebody weaker, but that is the Agricola Arena Life. I'm throwing out stream announcements, and I'll be on the way. Okay. Let's find out, what the seating order is, what our position is, what cards we're looking at. Unfortunately, we're after Zizak, and the weakest player's first seat. At least we're not fourth seat like JDI, but yeah, it's not thrilling, but it's acceptable. Lots of interesting cards here. Young Farmer, I think, is quite good. Every time you take Major, you get a grain and a sow action. I'm a big fan of that. Seasonal, occasionally combos with stuff. Charky's fine. Game Catcher's fine. Actually, a lot of these Ox aren't that great, but the minors are more interesting. I think Reno Company is generically quite strong. Going to Renovate to Clay early can be very powerful. Wheel Plow is an excellent plow help. 2 occupations, 2 wood, 2 extras. It's very nice. Lantern House is occasionally fun. It's hard to know this early in the draft if I want it, though. I think I take the Wheel Plow here, though. Corn Schnapps Distillery with Young Farmer is mildly a thing, but not really. Corn Schnapps is so expensive, and it's whatever. I'll take the Wheel Plow. We'll lead into this crop stuff. These are cards. There's a small day labor combo for anybody who gets it. Grange is a pretty good card. It's a little tricky to get the fields, but we have some extra field help, and we kind of want to plow it anyhow. Wooden Hut Extender is just very good. What would Zizak have taken out of this pack? Multiple things. I mean, like a first pick collector. There's like maybe Mason. There's some other stuff. But anyhow, I probably just take Wooden Hut Extender here. Wooden Hut Extender is very good. Well, there's also a Baker here. Baker is very handy with Young Farmer shenanigans. I can't take it here. There's too many good cards. Ebonist is also like reasonably good. We already have a grain source, so paying wood for grain at this point is not really a thing I want to do. Patron for a bit more food's nice, but again, Young Farmer will carry us. So we'll take Wooden Hut Extender. With Wooden Hut Extender, well, I kind of like Grange. I like that stuff. I might just take Maintenance Premium here. A little bit of food is good, and it's very easy to play. I'm going to want some playable cards if I have to fight for growth and play a bunch of stuff. Alternatively, Blueprints here to actually build guilds with Young Farmer. No, that's not very good. It's not good enough. You'd prefer the Wooden Hut Extender over Collector Mason. I mean, that's reasonable, but there's multiple things you could have taken out of this pack. I don't think it's like that crazy that this gets passed to me. There's like a lot of good cards here, but there's plenty of good cards in the set that could have got taken already. Childless is the obvious one. Childless is like the best card. Yeah, I mean, Childless is the best occupation at the moment, but like even outside of a Childless, I think there's multiple defensible picks that could have got taken. But okay. So each time we take the fencing action, you also get a boar, and there's a hedge keeper. I mean, that's actually like a decent mild combo. Excursion to the Quarry is pretty obnoxious. It adds a lot of stone to the game. It costs food, but like it's also pretty dang good. Personally, at the moment though, because I want to spend a bunch of wood on rooms and I want to spend wood on wheel plow. Good for feeding, 3 wood, 3 food, uncontested action. Well, it's not uncontested. That's the tricky part about Hedgekeeper. Like, it's going to take a while for me to get this going. But anyhow, the point is, with the cards I have, I want wood injection of some sort. I really would like some wood injection with this hand. And now, admittedly, there's a little bit of wood injection. This guy adds minor improvement actions in wood. I don't need that part.
Woodcutter's a slow way to add wood, though. I think Hedgekeeper is just better here. And then actually the Pigs Wool combo is kind of fun. Also, Young Farmer, the dream is that I actually have a decent amount of grain by the mid game that I can throw away to this. The hand plow is still pretty dang good here too, actually. Hand plow should just get even more fields. But we have a wheel plow. We should already have enough fields. I'm going to plow 1 or 2 fields early and then use wheel plow in the mid to late game to get the rest of the fields. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I don't believe this is a Bellfounder hand. Each time we take wood, well, there's at least a pig on the pig market, we get food. I don't think that's the way we're trying to feed. Here's an extra field for a minor improvement. I'm a pretty big fan of that. I'm also decently high on reed-headed toad. Although with Wooden Hut Extender, I really don't need that much reed help, I guess. And with Young Farmer, I don't really want to be taking early start players. I'd rather have good, strong cards to play on Major. I'll just take a newly plowed field. Yeah, like this is just like a free field at some point. My draft looks fun.
It should be. It's pretty good thus far. Yeah. Okay, potato planter at the end of each work phase in which I occupy clay pit or reed bag while the other is not. Okay, so this is a pretty decent card if we have time for it, but we don't really have time for it, so it's a kind of an awkward way for us to get veggies. I don't super want to take reed bag. I really want RSF actions because the stone is nice with young farmer because I want to take major minor a couple times, so having useful things to do there is good. Paymaster is too expensive. Bellfounder doesn't really work here. Fodder planter is pretty garbage with young farmer because I already have so many sow actions. So I think this is actually just take organic farmer. Organic farmer would encourage me to build stables, which is tough. To have capacity because currently I'm thinking I have 5 rooms. I have at least 5 fields, if not 6. I think I'm fencing pretty tight. Now I have fence help though, so I could potentially build stables. And then this organic farmer is quite good because the stables are points and the organic's going to be points. I don't know that I'm going to have great animals, so. Hey, HIKLJ, welcome. Stables also make Pasture Master kind of fun here. Wow, Reno Company came back. That's a little wild to me. I think Reno Company's quite strong, but it's a total nombo with Wooden Hut Extender. Obviously, I don't want to have 2 wooden rooms and then renovate. But I am a big fan of Reno Company otherwise. Reno Company says turn 4 wood into 5 clay and a reed and a Reno action. I mean, you have to play the card, but like I think it's quite good. Regardless, this is just going to be 3 field rotation for us then, though. This is just another very playable card at a certain point. It does mean our early cards are a little hard to play until we get Ox down, so our miners are a bit rough. But I don't want Steam Plow here because I'm not spending wood on that. Corn schnapps is equally expensive and not desirable. I just want an oven. Yeah, this is potentially some extra food. Okay, the only real debate is if we actually want an inter-districts director here. It adds some stone to the game when we take forest or clay pit. It slightly helps us get stone for majors, but it also leaves a lot of other stone for others. Pasture Master could actually be playable this game for me, potentially, if I get some stables down. It's going to be so late, though, by the time I get this down. I'm not actually going to use Pasture Master this game. It's very improbable. I'll take the inter-districts. We're hoping Baker comes back out of the next pack. If Baker doesn't come back, it suggests somebody else is doing baking things. And our food with Young Farmer actually will get slightly tricky because I was planning on feeding via like an oven, but the more I think about it, feeding here, I have no extra bake actions. So eating the grain is actually tough, and I don't get it back. Oddly enough, Animal Catcher has come back, but Seasonal Worker got taken. This is very confusing. Animal Catcher is playable on its own. I'm just cutting that from the draft, but our food's a little funky now. Now I do just kind of want a hearth and feed via methods, but this young farmer is less exciting then. This is not quite the dream. Mandolin is like basically unplayable here. Wholesale market's also unplayable. It's way too expensive, so I guess we take bottles, but I can't imagine having enough clay or food for bottles.
The set seems pretty diverse and interesting. Yeah, the set's definitely diverse and interesting. Somebody else taking the Baker really sucks. Really sad that the Baker got taken. I'm kind of surprised Animal Catcher. I feel like Baker gets overtaken in this set, but admittedly there's so much grain, so somebody else wants an oven. It's just unfortunate for me. Party Organizer is a way for us to get a lot of food, actually. We're going to have 5 family members due to 1 HUD extender, so this is like a food play. Or if somehow we're the only person to have 5 people, we get 3 bonus points. That's not going to happen, but this could be a decent way just to have a food move towards the end of the game. Otherwise, Forest Guardian gives us a little wood and maybe trickles of food. But I don't see when I'm playing it. Party Organizer, it being a late game card, is useful. And then here, each time we take an unconditional sow, planting at least a veg in a field. This is actually decent with Young Farmer. Young Farmer sows are unconditional. So we potentially could use Garden Hoe. We'd have to manually take a veg later, but like we're going to. So like maybe we get some resources out of this that are useful. But I don't know. This hand's actually turned out kind of not very good. Honestly, I think this is not looking particularly promising. It didn't really quite come together how we were hoping. The miners, yeah, I don't love this. I don't like the look of this, and I feel like other people probably wind up with slightly better stuff or doing questionable things. I also don't love that Zach is sitting after the weak player, but that's how life goes. Anyhow, HIKLJ, yeah, we'll get some push-ups in. All right. All right. And it looked like there was a low-key treat. We have a private teacher from Zach, possibly what he picked first. We get an early woodcutter pick going, because of course we do. I will still take RSF, even with Wood HUD extender. I just think RSF's the best. I don't think 3 wood gets me anywhere. But yeah, this woodcutter I'm not a huge fan of seeing. Just because I think it's dubious to play it so early. But basically it just suggests to me that I'm playing weaker players, I guess, which I already knew, but it looks like we're going to throw some value around the table. Market Crier Private Teacher from Zach. That's spicy. If he's actually... Wow, he is throwing grain to everybody immediately. That's fascinating. Throwing grain to everybody means that everybody should be contesting ovens. It also means that my young farmer's like kind of obviated slightly. I mean, the free sow action's still good, and I guess it gives me even more grain. I guess I could just aim for a stone oven potentially this game. Might be better, especially if Zach's going to throw us grain. There's going to be so much food. I think here I plow. I don't think 2 clay does me enough. You've had very few games with Crier, but they were all amazing. I think you're not playing good enough opponents. I think Market Crier is incredibly dubious. Unless you actually have great payoff here, but... we do get Lantern House from JDI. Little sucky that he's starting, but that's just how it goes. My games with Crier are also consistently amazing. Okay. We'll see. I think Crier's not good. I think Crier's pretty actively bad most of the time. You have to have a good reason to give all your opponents grain. And you also have to have good reason to not... Yeah, okay, we get Charcoal Burner, Woodcutter. This is a player that doesn't know what cards actually matter. This Patron Lantern House is good. So Zach getting 4 clay here is sad. I would have really loved 4 clay. 4 clay is an obvious oven bait, but this is fine. We just keep taking RSFs. Meaning when you get free from your opponent's planet. Oh, your games with Crier are amazing because people give it. I agree there are situations, Bulldozer. I'm not disputing that. If it's not Seducer or Carrot Museum seems bad. It also potentially could be Nutrition Expert. It could be some Nutrition Expert nonsense. Nutrition Expert nonsense I will accept as probably okay. You also think Lover. I don't think Market Crier is a good enough reason to go for Lover and feed all your opponent's grain, personally, but we'll see. Zizak just grain seeds. It's pretty expected. Whiskey. Whiskey's a decent, but it's a constable. So the Lantern House is very bad for constable, but our general game plan is pretty happy with constable here. Extra wood has got added to the game. Zizak is feeding everybody another grain, so I'm just gonna plow again. Early plows are extra powerful if you actually have crops to put into them, and Zizak is helping fuel us to just having 2 or 3 grain fields early, and I already have 2 RSFs. I will win the race to Stone Oven. Other people can have Clay Oven. If we're gonna have this much grain in the game, Stone Oven is just better, because then I don't have to take as many bake actions. It's very likely Zizak has taken the baker on the wheel here at this point. Zizak has played cards I didn't. I probably saw Market Crier in the draft. I did not see Private Teacher. Did not see Constable. I'm guessing he first picked Private Teacher. I'm not sure. I do need to eventually start taking wood. Obviously, I'd love 4 wood, but that's not going to happen. But I'm pretty content with just taking my opening 2 rounds are RSF plus plow, and plow is I'm getting thrown grain, so I could just sow the freaking grain fields in stage 1. Like, yeah, I'll take advantage of this. Red does get the first room, which was expected. Zizak takes an RSF, that's expected. I will take 3 wood here, since, I need wood, and the wood's getting tight. And I don't really have any pressing ox to get down. Zach made fun of your crier just yesterday, and then you levered round 5 for a win. Well, okay. I mean, cool. I mean, it can work. It partly depends on who you're playing. I think throwing so much grain into the game early is just very dubious. I think Zizak's helping me have a much better stage 1 than I'd otherwise have. I'm gonna get grain fields in stage 1 with no effort. Well, some effort. I mean, I'm taking multiple plow actions and sow actions, but I've been fed a ton of grain, which is a ton of potential food. And it's a late sheep game, so this extra food that I'm being offered is incredible. You just have to make sure you benefit more. Sure, but that's not easy. That's the whole problem with Market Crier. That's what we're saying. That's very tough usually. It's not at this point Zach has only 1 occupation left I don't know about. And I guess it probably is some sort of nutrition seduce or something. I don't know. But it's still, he's feeding a lot of value to the table. And I mean, I'm all for it, but Zizak does snag the clay oven, obviously. He needs this with Baker and all this stuff that he's doing, so it makes sense. We get a tree farm joiner down. That's fine. That doesn't bug me. I see no reason to start player yet. The real question is if I should plow another field expecting that I get a 3rd grain next round, which I might get a 3rd grain next round. I think it's reasonable that I get a 3rd grain next round, honestly. Although plowing again is kind of lame, given that I have wheel plow and newly plowed field. Although this is too many plows already. Maybe I'm never playing wheel plow. That's crazy. I'm gonna plow again. It's a little wild to do this, given that I have a wheel plow. But I like 4 clay. I like RSF. I like 3 wood as my first action. Any of that is good. I don't really care for occupation here. I eventually need to get Wood Hut Extender down, but it just doesn't do me much at the moment. So yeah, we don't get 3 wood, which is kind of expected. I could take 2 reed. It means JDI can't build as soon, but meh. I'm not particularly in the build fight. I think JDI is probably gonna Ock here. Well, no, JDI might take 2 reed, and then this might be build. So Zach might not feed me a grain, but whatever, 2 grain fields is still pretty incredible here. I'll take the 4 clay. Is a 3rd grain field even that good? Not really. But what else was I supposed to do last round? I guess pay a food for an Ock. It's not particularly that useful, Grant, but I also just think plowing a bunch early is not particularly a bad use of time, especially when you have crops. So gotta bluff the straw thatched. Yeah, yeah, that's no. I mean, whatever. JDI does take the T-read, that's expected. So yeah, I guess Zach's probably not private teachering here, because Red's not going to play an Ock. Red's going to build. Well, I say Red's going to build, but Red might build a Hearth because they're concerned about food long term. Like, for all I know, JDI is actually going to get the first room, because we have a weak player at the table, and I should have known better. And this is the problem with mucking around with the growth queue. When you have a weak player, JDI is going to get first room for no good reason. Task Artisan's at least a pretty good card, so that's cool. But lots of like minor improvement adding cards, like we're putting a lot of cards into play. Shepherd's Crook gets played, okay. Zizek could start player for a read, but he is gonna private teacher. We'll see if he throws us a grade. He has a Plowmaker, so that's definitely very good. But he has no payoff for all these crops then. He has no hidden Ock. He's throwing everybody a million crops because, and we will just plant 3 grain fields in stage 1 because we get to. And then we do need a stone oven though. We need the stone oven badly. So now we are fighting pretty hard for another RSF. Yeah, I really want one more RSF. I guess I just want a triple build at this point. Be slow about it, but we're super efficient with fields, with crops. Did we see stallholder? No, no stallholder. JDI getting a build here is kind of nutty. I think it's actually very nutty, but I guess we don't get RSF this round. So Zach's clearly going to take RSF, but I should get 3 wood. Red's probably going to take 4 wood. Wow, JDI doesn't build? What the fudge? What? How does JDI not build there? What? Writing desk, patron, lantern house is very fun. That's great, but what? Is JDI worse at this game than I think? Or am I supposed to read... Like, this is first room in round 5. That's an incredibly good position to be in. What? How do you let the player after you in particular build the first room? That's crazy to me. Renault Company? You don't Renault Company. You build the first room in wood because you just... That's flummoxing. It's crazy to me. JDI's gonna build fences. Okay. I don't know what's happening. Red gets 5 food bottom feeding, which is cool. Zach's gonna start player for the second room. This is why JDI not building is crazy, by the way. JDI is just gonna be last in the growth queue instead of first. Like, it's a huge penalty to pay here. It's wild. I will finally get out the wooden hut extender. Next round, Zach's gonna open build. I'll take RSF, and yeah, I'm content slow playing this. I mean, it's not great necessarily, but growth flips in 6. I have a bunch of grain fields already. I'm gonna be able to triple build. It's fine. Do I take RSF here? 3 wood is also like really important for me actually. Do I get RSF back though? RSF's too important because stone oven is too important. I don't want to mess around with this anymore. I want RSF and I want to just build a stone oven. Yeah. Yeah, RSF for oven is too important. That's the issue here. RSF for the oven's too bad. And JDI doesn't even take wood. JDI is gonna play Renault Company. Or he also needs a fireplace, I guess. But I actually get 3 wood here. I don't feel... Well, or do I need a stone oven? This might be stone oven. We'll see what Zach does. Zach's gonna plow because he wants to sow bake next round. Okay, so Zach's gonna sow bake next round and grow. So Zach's not taking wood next round. So Zach's pretty damn locked into sow bake. JDI probably takes 3 wood here, but I might just get 4 wood next round. I guess then I wouldn't build. I do want to build next round, right? Okay, well, so that's the problem. Next round I should be opening build. I guess I just build 1 room next round, right? I don't double building. Well, double building requires 8 wood. So if I take wood here, I'm allowed to double build next round, and that's very annoying for JDI, right? Building next round guarantees me growth in 8, and it opens up annoying ways for me to mess around after that. But then, do I get stone oven blocked? And then my food sucks. See, that's the possibility. I guess I'm not going to get 4 wood next round, though, because JDI is going to force me to build first action. Although JDI also needs food. Who else is going to build a major improvement next round in front of me? If I build a room, nah. Okay, I'm gonna stone oven. I think it gets too ugly, and I can always just build. I'm gonna be slow on gathering wood, but I don't super need wood with the hedge keeper, anyhow, and I need the stone oven. Did we see both desk and lantern? We did not see desk. I believe that's a first pick ready desk. I don't remember seeing that. We definitely passed lantern. All right, JDI just takes the sheep, so this is actually fantastic for me. I do get to take wood before building next round. Oh, JDI is thinking about it. He should probably take wood and then take sheep. Although he also needs food move. Okay, JDI has issues here too, actually. Yeah, JDI is actually just going to settle for the sheep now. Sheep now is confusing. How is JDI feeding through this harvest while breeding sheep? I don't know what's going on. Red can start player for 6 wood. Otherwise, I get 6 wood. If Red doesn't mess with the wood pile here, Zizak, I think, is basically locked into Sobake. Okay, but there's no 6 wood, so that's fine. I'm still getting 4 wood before building. Zizak, again, is going to Sobake, and then he's going to grow. So this is still pretty nice for me. I'm pretty happy with this position. The player who's grown first is by far the weakest rated at the table. I still have no idea why JDI decided not to build and grow first, because he's growing last, and it's even worse than that, because I'm double building this round and making it hard, because JDI wanted a growing farm. Oh my god, growing farm. Oh, growing farm. Well, that's fun. It's not good, but it is fun. But I did not, I did not think about growing farm as the reason to do this. But Zizak is so baking, as expected. It was pretty mandatory here for Zizak. He's planting a lot of veggies. He almost has to have a carrot museum somewhere in here then, which means the game's incredibly wood rich. If that's what's happening. Wow, and he's rethinking that. Giga baited. Oh, the growing farm. The growing farm's definitely been baited. Wow, Zizak actually does plant 3 veggies. So yeah, Zizak is almost certainly a big carrot museum, which means Zizak does need clay and a start player next. Well, a improvement action next round. But yeah, I get to double build here, which feels great. JDI is fed and has wood now, so yeah, I do have to build. Have to build now, but and Red's taking wood. Wow, so JDI actually has to start player to build and then start player to grow. If he doesn't want me to grow. Otherwise, anybody has to. This double build is very annoying to the table's dynamics here in terms of grow pressure. This is very good for me. It's going to force everybody to do really wild actions in order to prevent me from growing. I'd like stables eventually, but not paying for them now. I don't have incredible. Well, I have pretty good cards to play on growth. I can newly plowed field. I can play this pig swill. I don't really want to play the garden hoe. JDI is lover. He's not even building a room. Okay, I mean, isn't he starving with this though, or does he instantly get this action? Oh, he's layabouting because patron writing desk. That's wild. JDI is adding extra growth to the game, which makes it even easier for me to build and grow. It's an interesting game plan from him. He does have a lantern house, which is gonna be good here, but this is crazy. Growing farm gives him a bunch of food and 2 points, but it required him defense early. Although, given he has lover, it's okay. But again, not fighting the growth queue is wild. I can't. This is wild nonsense from JDI. Still, in my opinion, JDI could have built the first room, grown normally, done some food stuff, and then played a later lover. But it's completed rounds. Yeah, it's incredibly expensive. Red keeps not starting for 6 wood. It looks like Red's gonna let me double grow here. It looks like I'm gonna get to start player grow. So that's nice. I almost have enough wood just to build a room in order to room block, which would actually be the best. Yeah, Zach is gonna take clay, I think, almost certainly to open next round. He needs clay very badly because this has got to be a carrot museum. There's no other explanation anymore. JDI is not even in the room fight. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is shaping up overall. I mean, Zach's carrot museum is gonna be good. Yeah, and he opens clay. I'll open wood. It allows me to threaten room again soon, which I would like. Could it be mandolin? Maybe it could also be mandolin, I guess. I'm not convinced this is worth mandolin. He also almost certainly has a baker, by the way. I have to assume Zach has the baker is how he's going to feed here. With the way he set up his game, I think he's going to get food from baking. I will take 3 wood. There's very little else I need. I mean, the 4 clay is eventually good. This 5 food's not terrible because I always have to take another still bake action, which is annoying. But my bake actions are limited for sure, but this is still fine. I'm growing this round. Oh, I can't. I gave up double grow this way. What am I talking about? Okay, this is probably wrong. This is allowing red to grow next, and red will take that opportunity presumably, unless they can't figure out how to feed. So this is a little greedy for me because I'm probably not growing in round. And red's gonna double build even. That's gross. But yeah, I don't have 3 actions this round. Mentally, I'm like, oh, I don't know why I was thinking that, but yeah, this is a problem. Zach could start for me. That would be nice. Zach could start for me. Zach might not start for me though because he's that type of person. Yeah, let's say he's gonna play Carrot Museum not on start. Because yeah, the market crier Sivir is how we have 3 grain fields in stage 1. I will big swill. Pay a grade for pig swill here? Or do I newly plowed field so I can actually sow bake into it? I guess I newly plowed field so I can just sow bake into it. And we're just never playing wheel plow this game because we don't need it. And that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Red has to build and then start player and then grow and then feed, which I guess there's enough animals they'll make do, but them double building's actually annoying because it means I have to start player to grow again. Oh, and JDI is starting for them. Fuck you, JDI. I mean, this is why Arena sucks. Like, we're gonna we're gonna assume Red's a weak enough player that this is okay. Okay, he's reconsidering. I mean, he does have a lantern house, and he'd be starting for 4 wood or something. Like, it's not crazy, but it's kind of crazy. What is JDI even gonna do with all of his wood, by the way? He's not building wood rooms. He already has enough defense. JDI's just gonna start plowing. That makes sense, but lovers never care about normal turn orders. I agree. Red is fencing though, not building. Oh, hallelujah! I mean, red fencing makes sense here. There's multiple animal pairs, and that's how he feeds. Okay, he can still build. He's shepherd's. Oh no, he can't build. Oh, hallelujah! Well, okay, we're getting lucky for getting greedy. We're being very rewarded. Zizak is taking 2 wood. Love to see that. This hedgekeeper is going to be very nice to bust out very soon. Yeah, so basically at this point it's worried about sealing. I was going to say 3 stone looks really good, but Zizak wisely is going for that. I think Zizak's going to renovate with the well or something very shortly. JDI is renovating with a fireplace. Yeah, that makes sense. You're forgetting what Trellis does, or did Red play a blank card? Red played a blank card. It's immediately get food up to how many fences you played. I'm guessing Red thought they were gonna get Trellis's food after fencing just now. But you know, reading comprehension, or well, it's not fully reading comprehension. To be fair to him, well, his profile does say English, also. It's possible though he's playing with a translated card and the translation is bad. You never know for sure. But anyhow, yeah, regardless, that combination does not work. For in his defense though, it was a task artisan, right? So it was free. Oh no, it wasn't free. He could have just not spent the wood. Yeah. I mean, again, Red is by far the weakest rated player at the table, so like this isn't particularly surprising. My next round currently looks like build, grow something, and then grow round 10. But the axe was on artisan. Oh, maybe I have the order wrong. You might be. You're probably right. Sorry, Gray. Yeah, good call. The axe must have been the task artisan because Stone just flipped a little bit ago, and Red didn't start player again. Yeah, never mind. You're right. They decided to just trellis because they could play trellis and either I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't have to understand. Okay. So how do we win from here? Zizak is adding a lot of wood to the game. There's actually a lot of wood injection already. This task artisan, this woodcutter, this charcoal, this not building a wood room, this tree farm joiner. Lots of wood injection from all my opponents. I don't necessarily have the wood injection besides the hedgekeeper, which red is SP Nada. That's not particularly strong. Zizak just got 3 wood, 3 stone. Zizak is definitely gonna flood the game with resources also. I build here. This is an easy build. Easiest build. I mean, Zizak, yeah, this is just build, and now I get to just supercharge my growth. Yes, absolutely. Do I build a stable? I mean, eventually, but well, maybe not anymore. I do think stables and organic farmer with hedgekeeper is probably part of how I'm trying to achieve sealing this game. Although with how many actions I have, actually animal catcher and just having tons of animals maybe is more realistic than organic farmer. I'm growing to 5, so I like 6 food here. Sow bake is also basically just 6 food. It's also sowing 1 more grain field, but like I want to sow bake next stage when my fields are empty. I would love to get 6 food back. But animal catcher is better than organic. Yeah, I think so. After thinking about it, there's also constable points to earn here. Definitely, I'm supposed to earn constable this game. I also would really like to spam the fencing action, so I need to get ready for that. I need to be ready to spam fences. Zizak probably takes 6 food here. Otherwise, I'm snapping that. Actually, Zizak is not taking 6 food. Zizak has Baker. Animal catcher is signpost day labor card. I don't know what that means, but why do I care about sowing with fields empty? Why would I not care about sowing with fields? I only get 1 sow in them anyway. The point is I would rather not sow bake right now in round 9. I would rather take 6 food. Sow bake is essentially a 6 food action for me, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I need a feeding action before I grow, unless I want to eat raw grain, which is also an option. But otherwise, sow bake is essentially 6 food with stone oven. I need to take some food actions. I was just basically arguing like, how do I time those out? I think the answer is I take 6 food now, and then next stage we take the so bake feeding. Otherwise, we'd have to find other food next round, which isn't necessarily me saying anything, too crazy. But you have signpost ideas saying go in this direction if you see it in draft. Oh, I see. Okay. Seasonal worker is getting played by JDI. That's well, he has Lantern House writing desk. Never mind. It's just getting points out of the way, and he has fodder. Okay. I was gonna say the seasonal worker is very not great for him, but it's presumably he's taking it because of. I guess he takes his veggie on day labor eventually. He wants to take a veg action or two, but he's not gonna really fight me on the animal catcher stuff. He already has infinite grain basically, so. Am I still planning to organize a party? Yeah, eventually I'll play party organizer. I'm gonna have so many actions, HIKLJ, right? That's the crazy thing here. I already have 4 fields and grain going. Zach does play Baker as expected. He did get to private teacher it. He's almost certainly going to fling everybody extra grain off market crier, I assume. Also, yeah, he market cries again because at this point, make use of the crazy carrots. So. He did lock in the well on Reno, also as expected. But anyhow, I have so many actions this game, HIKLJ. It's pretty nutty. We play Pig Swill here. We pay a grain because grain is not a problem. Yeah, we need sealing, I guess. But does the timing matter? Like, do I want to play it before growing? Timing on Party Organizer is that as soon as the next player but me gets their 5th person, I get 8 food, or I get 3 points. So I need to play this at some point before somebody hits 5 family members, and it's basically a 7 food action. I mean, it's 8 food, but minus a food for playing it. It's not great, but it's a card I probably eventually play because, again, actions. What am I going to do with all these actions? I'm going to hopefully make fences very contested, although fencing is like already not super contested based on what other people are doing. But like what do I do with all my action advantage here? Like I should try to achieve sealing somehow. I like taking 2 stone, I guess. I need to make sure I keep staying fed. But nobody builds another room and it's round 13 grow and I get 3 points off party. That would be actually really great. Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely wonderful because I might be trying to achieve bottles in this game, which means I need to really hit the clay hard. I'm taking 4 clay first action this round, by the way, if I can, because I do think bottles is ultimately a path towards sealing for me. And I don't know how else I achieve it. Red builds. Red does not build. What build pressure is there on red? Red does take the 4 clay, which I think they're supposed to. I agree red's going to build at some point, but why are they first action in build? Oh, you mean in terms of 5? Yeah, you mean nobody built. Sorry, you're responding to Sivir. Yeah. I mean, red's clearly building, I think. Okay, so 3 wood is kind of a crummy action for me, actually. Like, 3 wood's not that exciting because I plan to play Hedgekeeper. I guess I want stables also, so 3 wood is pretty good. Yeah, I do want stables, right? Okay, so I want stables. What else am I doing? Like, what is there to do? There's so bake eventually. I guess take a veg, possibly play this garden hoe. I guess I could play this garden hoe. This garden hoe is at least spending a wood for a clay and a stone, which is fine. I guess 3 wood's a good enough action. It does get me. It's as good as hedge keeping stuff later. There's so much wood in the game, but I should take the time to build stables. I'm gonna need it for capacity or something. Red does build, so now we grow. I will grow with garden hoe. It's gonna turn into some resources. I don't know if it's super great, but also I don't think the wood matters much once I play Hedgekeeper. The clay and stone definitely can matter. I need to hit a stone house. I mean, 5-room stone house is part of how we're supposed to have enough ceiling to win this game. I definitely need that. I need to take some RSF actions. Like, I do have pretty useful things to be doing with my actions, luckily. Zach's just taking 2 stone, trying to cut the ceiling for the game. It makes a lot of sense. I have to grow, I said. Red only build 1 room, interestingly. Are you missing a card on Red's board? What is all that wood for? Yeah, I don't... Well, Red's gonna fence again with Shepherd's Crook. That's what's happening. Red is definitely Shepherd's Crooking again. That's why they saved 6 wood, actually. This is Shepherd's Crook one more time. What is purple doing with all that wood? I don't know. Purple's gonna fence again. Okay, that makes sense. I can't hedge keep this round, which kind of anticipated. But they're done fencing, so that's definitely good news for my hedge keeper. It's going to be very easy for me to fence in the end game, I think, because multiple people are going to be fenced out. So like, there's just not that many fence actions to get blocked on. So I guess this round is take a veg and so bake, or yeah, probably just take a veg and so bake. Red's gonna start player. Okay. I could take RSF. Wow, milk jug. So everybody's gonna get some extra food this game too. Sure, let's go wild. So Zach is gonna renovate with the joinery, I assume. So Zach, admittedly, is looking like they're probably still just gonna win this game. I mean, I have action advantage on him, but holy crap, does Zach actually have points? And you know, he's getting 7 wood here. I like veg and so bake. These animals don't really matter to me. I could play an Ock. The RSF is the only other tempting thing here, but getting blocked on so bake next round would be really bad. And there's a very good chance that Zach wants to so bake. All right. I'm not that far behind Zizak on points, to be fair, but Zizak kind of has this like 4th family member almost with the Carrot Museum going on. He has more off-board points than I do, so he has like a higher ceiling, and he's still going to achieve a very nice farm here. Admittedly, I'm still 11 points behind him. He also can grow still. Like I probably am losing this game to Zizak regardless, but that's a surprisingly reasonable 1-room build from Red. I agree. Kudos to Red for only building 1 room, although he immediately gets enough wood to go build another room at the start of this round. But yeah. Zizak takes 3 wood. That's fine. Zizak thinks he can wood bully me probably, but he doesn't probably know that I have a hedge keeper. Although he might remember it. Plow is not a very good action for me. 6 food is okay. Maybe 3 clay is enough. 3 clay allows me to reno this round, although there's very little reno pressure. But renovating this round, take 3 clay, RSF, reno pottery because I can. I mean, it makes the bottles way worse. But it's a decent round. I have 5 actions this round, and I don't really need plow. I do want to play hedgekeeper and potentially fence this round, but I think there's a chance this is Zach's fencing or Red's fencing. Like, I don't really think I get to fence this round. Although I guess I could first action here and force it to happen. How much clay pressure is there, by the way, if I build the pottery, though? If I build the pottery this round, Red's going to take 1 more clay action this game, but that might be it. I'm just going to open with this clay and allow myself to reno, potentially. I'm probably playing Hedgekeeper next. Alternatively, I might be RSFing next. RSF might still be better, and then play Hedgekeeper. Yeah. I just don't think I get to fence this round. I think Red's fencing, or I think Zach's fencing, and if either of them are not, I will fence, but, like, it doesn't really matter to me if it happens early in the round or not. RSF gives me an excellent, reno action, which I think is important. The ceiling's the scary part, very hard to catch it. You like this Stonehouse Bottles Guild. It looks tough, or it's tough to get all that. Yeah, I mean, I fully agree that I probably am losing this game due to ceiling issues, and Zach will win because he has higher ceiling. I I agree. I think that's probably what's happening. I don't think the stone house is that hard. I think the bottles is hard because I also am probably just gonna have a pottery and it's probably not gonna be worth it. But yeah, I'll take RSF here. The plow pressure is also kind of nutty. There's very little plow pressure. So while I'd love players to be prioritizing plows, they don't have to be, which isn't exactly great news. Also, JDI is starting, which sucks. I mean, it makes enough sense. He wants family growth. And he has a steam plow. JDI is using all the wood on steam plow. Duh, of course he is. Okay. That still doesn't make as much sense as just building stables and plowing normally, but the start player is nice. Red grows a drinking trough. Okay, Red's not fencing this round, so it does come down to does Zach fence here or not. Zach's not fencing here, so we actually get to play Hedgekeeper into fences into Reno Pottery. So that's a pretty good round for us. Going last next round, still not lovely, but this is a really nice round. Zizak's so baking, of course. Duh. Yeah. This is why I so baked last round. It was pretty clear Zizak needed to do this. Okay. The comeback starts here. I mean, maybe. Last is not light, but you like the actions in a row. Yeah, the actions in a row are kind of fun, but yeah, being last is not great. Although the board's kind of crummy next round. Like, again, part of the problem is what do I need? I mean, I want 3 stone probably next round. And I think I get 3 stone at the start of next round. Everybody else has other problems to worry about, I think. Yeah, we get this Hedgekeeper down. This Hedgekeeper is very helpful, obviously. The wood pressure is high otherwise. The wood pressure would kill me slowly. So, this is very important. I think I'm beating JDI pretty soundly. Ultimately, we get Pig Swill. That's cute. I just hedge keep this little pasture because I want to keep the wood to enable other hedge keeper shenanigans. I probably only really want one more fence action this game, so like take wood and then fence again. I do need another plow eventually, which plow is open, which is crazy. I could plow here. Do we ever want a big bottom feed? Kind of. The 6 food is actually pretty good here too. That's what all of a sudden I'm wondering if Reno is actually that important here. But I think opening the Reno queue is still good for me long term. I think the plow pressure is still just remarkably low. I do eventually need another plow at least though, so I could take it here very easily. And I need actions next round, and Reno is still mine currently. I could get blocked. Okay, let's think about this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Renos left, and there could be 5 desired if I don't take one this round. I never have a plow problem. Plows are going to be more contested than this. Plows are almost certainly going to be more contested than this, but I still should get a plow eventually. And I don't have to get a plow, I guess, right? I can just fence over it. Let's get this Reno out of the way. It also gets the pottery out of the way, just in case that ever happens. I don't really think the pottery is contested, but let's get that out. I am up to 29 points after that. It's nice. We do have slight feeding issues because Stone Oven sucks, so bottom feeding's good. But thoughts on prioritizing fencing to keep pressure on Zizak and put his animals constable at risk? Oh, sorry. If I would love to just keep hammering fences. I'm not at all opposed to hammering fences consistently, but I think. Well, Zizak's not going to fence until round 13, right? Zizak's going to wait for his wood to come in and then fence. Zizak's going to open this round with plow, I think. And then he might start player for plow sow or something. Or not plow sow. He'd probably start player. He might. Yeah, I might force Zizak not to grow. That's fascinating, Ace of Spade. Zizak might need to. I can force Zizak to first action fence at some point, and that probably means that he can't actually get a family growth in, which would be very good. Hammering fence is more appropriate. If we SP this round, we also could be super annoyed about it. That's true. We could just open fences round 13 to annoy Zizak. Yeah, that's actually fun too. I don't super have a particularly great start player, but it's a thought. The 7 food looks good though. The 3 stone looks good. Honestly, even 2 stone and RSF looks good. But honestly, the 3 stone probably is our biggest priority here. Actually, the 3 stone really limits other players' renos. Zazak's gonna generate a bit more stone off of Carrot Museum. Not that that really matters here, but I think I'm supposed to take 3 stone. I think 3 stone basically locks up my stone reno, which is very important. The goal here is to punish Zach for failing to park. The goal here is to win. So how do we win? Part of winning is try to annoy Zach. So one of the better ways to slow down Zach is to start player. However, I still need to do enough good actions on my own, and 3 stone looks very good for me and like pretty important. Fencing more is good for me, but I'll eventually get to fence more. Zach takes 3 wood and then probably is going to try to fence. Okay, so here's the tough part. Like, being last this round kind of sucks because I would love to hammer fences here. Hammering fences here is pretty annoying to the table, and animals are going to be very good next round. Although I still have Animal Catcher as an option. Also, the 7 food is good. There's so many good actions. I'm going to take the 3 stone, though. I think it's, like, really annoying if somehow this goes, like, 3 stone and other... I think I might get stone reno blocked, and I think that loses. If we SP, red might have to SP, Zach SP. Fence is better, it seems. I think the stone's actually better. I mean, my opponents are going to get to fence probably, but, like, it's fine. I don't know. Like, they're eventually going to find a way to fence. The fact that Zach gets to fence here is good. JDI re-upping start sucks. Purple could SP for growth. Yeah, purple SPing for growth sucks, but I can't start player there, but yeah, the Doctor or JDI repeatedly starting is pretty painful with the Lantern House. It makes sense. He has a Lantern House. He has cards to get out. This is the right time to start. Growing is good for him. But yeah, it definitely slows me down. Red takes clay. That's fine. That was expected. So Zach's gonna fence. Otherwise, I do. So the round's worse. Although we still get 7 food back, which is pretty nice for us. But yeah, this is a little dark. It's a little undesirable, but not a lot we can do about it. We just play from here. We do what we can from here. I think I still am beating JDI pretty easily, even with JDI. Well, JDI still has easy access to plows via Steam Plow, and he's locked in Constable. Oh no, JDI doesn't have Constable. If JDI can get a 0-point Lantern House and hit Constable, though, that actually would be... JDI probably is in contention for the win if that happens, because he'd shed 3 points off Lantern House to 38, and he'd already have Constable for 41, and he grows to 44. So yeah, if JDI finds the actions to shed his whole hand, actually I'm in pretty big trouble, because then he has 2 more fields. He's at 48. Yeah, that actually could be an issue. Does our Stone Clay on sow trigger when we sow and have a veg planted, or did we have to sow a veg? I think we have to sow a veg on that action. Yeah, each time we sow at least a veg unconditionally. Zach just said be right back, so a little slow on this action. Zach, take your action and then be right back. But, oh well. Does Lantern give you the -7 regardless? No. Lantern does not give you the -7 regardless. Lantern just gives you negative point for each card left in your hand. It gives you 7 positive points, and it gives you negative points equal to your cards left in hand. So it's currently giving him -3. So it is costing him Constable because of that. But so the whole point is, can he shed his whole hand or not? Zach has a Game Catcher. That's sweet. I'm sad that Game Catcher made it to him in the draft. I don't think that should have happened, but Zach also has Constable on lockdown now. Well, assuming Zach gets a plow. Zach does need a plow. Okay, what are we doing? I can go for BMW also, right? Yeah, I can go for BMW. That's not great. Now the growing farm makes so much more sense. The growing farm makes a bit more sense, admittedly. It's true. He had to get it out due to Lantern Constable. But yeah. Okay. I have 3 actions left. It could be 3 read RSF BMW. I guess it could be just take 1 sheep. I don't know if animal catcher is getting played. Three read RSF. Build BMW, take 3 stone again next round. I guess there's no real point in building BMW this round, alternatively. This round could be 3 read, RSF, take a sheep. Assume red's not crazy, red's gonna reno. So maybe don't take 3 read, actually. Assume red renovates here, right? Take RSF. I always need the RSF at some point. And then see what happens. Then we get back-to-back actions to respond. Red's not renovating, so there's a little extra reno pressure, so that's annoying. Although red's probably never getting a stone reno, so it probably matters less. Red is taking so bake, which is annoying because they're about to get plow sow, unless red's not taking plow sow, in which case Zach's going to get plow sow. I also could take some wood here, admittedly, and then not have to have extra hedgekeeper activations. Although I'm going to get reno fences pretty easily, I think. Okay. Gosh, how do we win? Do I actually want to open next round with 3 stone? Kind of. I can still get multiple fence actions this game because, well, Zach's not fenced out, God. Zach can fence block me. That's annoying. If I'm ever actually a threat, Zach can respond with a fence block. Okay. I only plan to plow 1 more field, so I ideally get to 14 wood. Hedgekeeper gives me 3. I'm at 6, and I've already fenced 4, so I need 4 more, or I need 1 more and 2 hedgekeeper actions. Okay, so maybe not take wood now. Maybe just try to take like 3 wood next round also. Being last sucks. JDI repeatedly starting is causing me late game issues, which it happens. Does happen. Can I really get this BMW in? I almost have to win probably, so what the hell. Let's try to snag it, and then I probably have to play animal catcher to get animals actually. The cows are pretty contested also. Kind of contested. The 2 sheep are not super under contest next round. Once red fences, red doesn't need them. Yeah, okay. So don't take the sheep here, just take the BMW and then take 3 stone. What happens if I build BMW here and 3 stone gets taken? I'm pretty much doomed, so just take 2 stone and then lock in 1 more RSF and reno BMW. Yeah. This also makes it really much harder for a lot of people to renovate or do anything. And BMW actually allows me to basically feed the rest of the game. I have some raw crops. I don't have to take another sow bake action. Okay, yeah, I like that. I think this is solid. It's probably not winning. I'm not even sure I have 2nd place here anymore. JDI growing and still potentially hitting constable is very problematic. JDI also probably is first actioning starting if I don't. Do I want to start here for plow sow? Actually, starting for plow sow is pretty reasonable for me, right? Plow sow comes with sow 2 veggies. Oh, and it gives me my extra stone. Oh my god, I can SP plow sow and get the okay. You think taking the stone was the right play? Yeah, I agree. I think it blocks stuff. And I will start player then. Starting is actually pretty good here for me. Even though I have like nothing worth starting with. Plow sow is very good for me next round. It locks up like everything I want. It gives me the stone because of garden hoe. Yeah, this veggie comes off. I resow both veggies on plow sow. I'm very worried, JD. And it means Zach doesn't get to grow. Although Zach's already at fucking 52, so what does it matter? Although he's a little point capped. But can I even hit 52 with plow sow and the rest? Maybe. What the heck? Zach might try fence blocking me. No, I'll have red fences, assuming red renovates, which, meh. We'll play maintenance premium for a bit. Oh, or I could wheel plow. Wait, is wheel plow actually make any sense here? Do I just want 7 fields? I'm not going to have that many animals anyhow. Do I just want 7 fields? And then I just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would need a wood action still. It also makes feeding absolutely trivial because I just sow a shit ton of grain. I save 2 wood, I spend 2 wood. Yeah, and I suppose I cost myself pasture points. I cost myself pasture points. Alright, we'll do it this way. JDI takes more wood. JDI's gonna get stables in, yeah. Okay, what do I want? I want 3 wood, I want fences, something like that. I want red to renovate. Really like red to renovate, eventually. I will fence. Well, if I fence, that might encourage red to red fence, which I don't really want. Ugh, bleh. I'm just gonna take 3 wood. Okay, red is fencing, easy. Okay. So yeah, I take wood. Really want red to fence, because JDI could take time to grab a stone here and get in the reno queue, and then it's annoying for me. Zach takes the cow, that's expected. I also could take the 2 sheep right now. Oh, wait, yeah, red didn't fence how I thought. Wait, red chose not to get constable points because they're confused? Okay, actually these sheep... Well, again, do I want the sheep, though? I'm probably just playing animal catcher in order to get my animals. I guess I could get day labor blocked, too. God, I do have... I'm kind of in... I'm in a position where, like, my opponents don't have good enough things to do. I'm probably going to get blocked on everything I want to do. This also works only when I take the fencing action space, which is a little annoying, but it's not the biggest deal. Okay, so I'm playing Animal Catcher. I could just RSF and... Well, no, I said I'd taken 3 wood. What am I thinking about? I need more wood still, and it saves me a fence action. Okay. Let's take the 3 wood. Let's not get too fancy. I might take RSF and just reno this round. No, although renoing this round is still a bad idea, because I want to reno fence, potentially. JDI does take another day labor, which actually also sucks. Okay, red does reno, though. 3 wood and a food? Yeah, it is 3 wood and a food. I'll take another 3 wood and a food if I'm offered it, probably. Well, or should I take these sheep that I keep talking about? I don't have young animal market, that's sad, okay. Am I ever sneaking out this bottles for points? No, I'm not. Okay. Even a food. Yeah, I mean, I could do it again. I guess I should. Should I? Yeah, I should. This is still good. Okay. It does look like I have uncontested reno next round, so that's nice. I probably am supposed to take the 2 sheep and play animal catcher as the rest of this round. I can get very blocked on my animals for constable at this point. So yeah. And I want to open plow sow. Yeah, not having enough fence space is actually... Not having enough room to hold animals is actually probably going to mean I get constable blocked. Well, does JD... Who's really going to... Is somebody really going to block day labor on me? I mean, they might, because, again, if I'm winning, then the right move is to block day labor. Because the cow's almost certainly getting taken. So... Roof baluster for red. Gross. I mean, well done them, but gross. That's not welcome. Although they don't want reno fence. So I guess that means I'm supposed to take the BMW now, though, because I'm never renoing the BMW. Okay, so I'm building the BMW, I'm opening plow sow, and I'm supposed to oct the animal catcher, and I just plow sow, then red fence, then hope day labor is not blocked, which it probably is. Blah, that sucks. Well, who's taking the BMW? Well, yeah, I have too many. I've left too many pressures on myself. I should have probably hit the fences more aggressively, or I should have started playing more aggressively in round 12. But I didn't foresee it all, so those things happen. Those things happen. You can't always remember everything. I'm pretty much never getting the cow next round for it to matter, so I should just get the animal catcher played. Our food gets mildly sketchy, but probably is okay. Round 11 start usually changes into first later. Yeah, it can. I mean, it's possible I'm supposed to just start in round 11, I guess. That's true too, but getting the BMW out this round is smart. Likely purple major minor next round with some priority. Yeah, that's a good point. Purple has cards they want to get out of their hand, right? That's JDI's only path to contesting is to get quite a few cards out of their hand still, actually. So, yeah, good call, Ace of Spade. I eat a read here just in case I wind up taking like this one read is never actually gonna turn into points for me. I don't have time for that, so. But yeah, my points have not been moving in an upward direction at all fast enough. So I think I'm probably third here. Zizak is breeding a couple of points and then has 3 actions. I don't even know what Zizak does for points though. I guess takes more wood and fences or stables or something. Admittedly, this round could be really gross for me if red does, like, if for some reason red does decide they need to red fence and then Zizak fence blocks me, that would really suck. It seems pretty unlikely. Actually, plow sow is like, should not, none of my opponents actually care about plow sow either, now looking at it. Plow sow should be like super open. I mean, I guess Zach could sow his crops again, but like, it's hardly good. I could gamble that none of them care about plow sow. Literally none of them can plow block, actually. But I need plow sow to Reno. Well, yeah, I left myself in this position. I left myself needing the sow in order to Reno, so never mind. It's I have to open sow because otherwise I get Reno blocked. JDI can grab a stone and Reno block me, which is unacceptable. So this has to be open plow sow anyhow, even though yeah, I mean, I can't believe red didn't shepherd's crook fence and lock in. Like red could have easily just this fence is so wrong. It's one more point of pasture, but like you left open space on your farm. You could have had constable, buddy, and you chose not to. All right, I left myself this. I have to do it. It's crazy that literally nobody can plow though. Like wild. Never even used my first pick wheel plow. Ultimately, also pretty sad, but that's what happened. JDI gets growth again. I'm still not like that scared. JDI has 3 actions to get rid of 3 cards. It's conceivable he could do it. Sheep do get taken, so I need day labor. I suspect Zach might just block me, unfortunately, if I'm at all close. So I think I'm getting constable blocked. I left some of this slightly too late, which, you know, happens. Although then again, maybe Zizek doesn't even care. I mean, like, what is my point ceiling here? I renovate, I hit 40, I plow these spaces, that's +4, +3, it's 47. I day labor is 49, 51, 54, and then I take some clay. I get to 56. Yeah, I don't think Zizek even has to block me, but... So I have to accept the market crier looks like it's fine for Zizek. Zizek's going to just build 2 stables here and trust that he can use his other actions to gather up more wood for joinery. Yeah, I suppose why not. Okay, it's time to red fence then. I can't build stables, so... Uh, And then we hope we get day labor back, because yeah, that's all we can hope. It's feeding, it's museum fuel, it's amazing. It worked out for him this game. I would argue on some level. Well, no, I mean, he played, whatever, he played a good game. I can't believe JDI didn't build and grow and push the growth back a bit, although that helped everybody. Red didn't necessarily give Zizak that many gifts, although draft gifts, potentially. I think Zizak's not really supposed to have a game catcher. And, I mean, obviously, Market Crier has lots of extra utility when you have Private Teacher, but... Also, on some level, I think it's actually a little nuts that Zizak got the clay oven. At a stronger table, I think Red probably snags a clay oven in front or something. Like, you throwing everybody grain, like a bunch of grain, and then watching them not beat you to an oven is also like, I mean, to be fair, Zizak, you know, he prioritized it in stage 1, but also like there was 4 clay in round 2 and everybody already had a grain. Like 4 clay basically says, hey, you can just have the clay oven first. Now maybe Zizak wins the race to stone oven. Maybe Zizak doesn't care and he can live with a hearth. But it's definitely significantly more annoying. The grain doesn't actually turn into feeding if you don't get the right things. JDI is gonna block me. Probably JDI is gonna block me on day labor trying to beat me. So that sucks, but kind of expected. But yeah, being late on this animal catcher is unfortunate. And indeed, I get cow blocked too because of course. So getting pretty blocked on points now, which is an issue. Zach, of course, had Grange too. Yeah, duh, of course he had Grange. Why would Grange have not made its way to him in the draft? In a fucking constable game? Okay, so I also lose this game partly from draft position. I mean, Zach played really well. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat great players like Zach anyhow, so whatever. But also, like, come on. Maybe I'm not supposed to start player here. Maybe, admittedly, letting GDI grow to 5 is kind of annoying because otherwise Party Organizer would be a 3-point play here for me, which that would be pretty helpful. Although JDI might have also blocked me for no incredibly great reason. Like, it looks like I can probably sneak past JDI anyhow, I think. Depends on how many points left JDI has in minor improvements, I suppose. Any card JDI plays is a point. But JDI can't even breed. No, JDI. Okay, yeah, JDI can breed a point of pigs. He needs. No, he doesn't need food because he has veggies to eat. He can't mandolin any more points, right? Oh no, he can. Okay, he can mandolin a veg still. Okay, so he's hiding a mandolin point. So he's at 48. He breeds one. He's at 49. Any cards he plays are worth a point, so this Ak is a point. Possibly is worth more than a point, depending on what it is. Although I don't know what it could be. What is this Ak? Hashter Master. Okay, so that's literally just a 1-point move, so he's at 50. He has resource tiebreak on me. So I have to beat him on that front too. It might be correct for me just to play Bottles here, actually, oddly enough. Bottles is a 1-point move and it blocks JDI from playing a card. Does blocking JDI from playing a card matter here? Hey, Zach. What else could JDI do for points? He currently is eating a veg and a sheep, so he's fed. He's maxed on crops, he's maxed on veg, he's maxed on animals. I think the only point move JDI has is Major Minor. Now the real question is if I bottles, can I feed? in any sensible arrangement, I have 3 raw grain to eat. I have a clay to eat. So I have 5 extra food. I have 13 food. I would need 2 more food. I'm missing an insane match in the World Cup. I'm truly not missing it. Truly, I'm not. I don't care. Clay to eat. Oh, I would have no clay to eat. Yeah, I'd have no clay to eat if I bottles. Okay, I can't afford bottles then. The answer is bottles. I can't block JD on bottles, so I have to just generate my own points. So generating my own points is not looking great. I mean, a pig is a point, fencing is a point. 2 reed is a point, clay is a point. I guess I just take single point actions here. Clay is 1 point plus 1 tiebreak. Yeah, I mean, again, the tiebreak doesn't matter. I'm losing tiebreak to JDI regardless. You think you were going to? You still think I was winning, but felt like I was the only threat? Yeah, I was pretty sure I was getting day labor blocked. I was a little surprised to see JDI do it. I thought you might have to. I'm not beating you anyhow, though, actually, so it makes more sense for JDI to do this and fight for second. Which he might be hitting because I'm struggling to figure out the winning lines. But I think it's just trying to actually take positive points. This takes me to 50, and then I have 1 more point move after this. Takes me to 51. JDI is currently at 50 himself. So if he doesn't have a minor he can play, but he does have a minor he can play. So maybe I did have to block the minor. He has blueprints. Okay. I think I lose. You were very nervous about giving me that much opening, but Carrot's still just stupid. Yeah, I mean, Carrot was stupid, plus your hand is stupid for a constable game. I have mild draft complaints, but like, you know, your hand is much more jelly together than mine is. Your hand looks like you got a lot of value passed to you. I don't think I have the right seating spot at this table, but even then, like, you have a very strong game here. You scored nearly 60. I mean, like, my game is pretty dang good, but okay. Unfortunately, JDI is going to beat me, assuming he remembers to mandolin again, or did he already mandolin this round? And maybe I'm miscounting. I don't know. Assuming he can mandolin again, JDI beats me. I can't do anything besides get a point here anyhow, so I don't know why. What's the coolest way to get the point? Use Pig Swill and Hedgekeeper. Just take the 2 reed, because bonus points. Yeah, letting JDI grow is maybe the mistake. I could have got... Oh, I also could play Organic for a point. That'd be funny, but we'll just do it this way. Yeah, I should have probably fenced more aggressively here because getting blocked on Constable is real bad of me, though I'm supposed to get Constable points. I was probably supposed to fence more aggressively in the mid-game. Make it more annoying for Zach, but oh well. Thanks to Cryer. Cryer was the best card this game. Oh my gosh. For what it's worth, I think Zach can win this game without a Carrot Museum. He has to play it slightly differently, but I suspect he still has a winning line without the Carrot Museum. You give him some other like generically okay-ish card, he doesn't worry about the Marker Crier, and it still goes quite nice. Constable, Plowmaker, Grange is just pretty dreamy. Admittedly, the Carrot Museum, I guess, is pretty helpful, though. You don't get to Stone. You lose a lot of ceiling, I guess, without Carrot. I could have played the bottles, you think? Yeah, it turns... I probably supposed to have played the bottles, right? Blocking JDI... I should have trusted my math that blocking JDI on major minor was important. Bottles bought me a victory point at least, right? But it's the same points as what I did if I play bottles, and then I block JDI, yeah. Carrot was like 17 wood, 5 stone. Yeah, the more I think about it, actually, maybe you can't. Maybe you can't win this game without Carrot Museum. Maybe this game is just a example of you were able to correctly bust Carrot Museum while also having things kind of work out well for you. Getting to just build second room and grow second is also pretty disgusting.
Having Baker with this hand is obviously quite nice. It makes your feeding super easy because you don't have to keep taking so bakes or figuring anything else out. Plowmaker in a constable game is dreamy. There's no plow pressure from what's happening. Like your hand just gels together very well, and you executed it very well. So yeah, I mean it's hard to beat that type of stuff. So you'd like to see the scenario with that. I'd like to too, but I don't know if it matters. Like realistically, like especially now that I know Zach has a range anyhow. I mean, I guess the animal capacity. If I fence block Zach in round 12, and Zach is forced to like start player to fence, maybe that slows him down enough, and then maybe because I have fences, I hit constable. Constable is still such a huge shift for me here, right? I have 51, whereas if I just have a sheep and a cow, I have 7 more points. Like it's a pretty big failure on my part to not hit that. It does look like JDI is only hitting 50 though. He must have already mandolined in round 14, or he just forgot to, or he still can. I guess we're technically still. No, he doesn't have a veg to. No, he doesn't have a veg anymore. Oh, okay. Well, okay. I think I at least got second still, which is really what I wanted at this point. Not getting second would have felt bad. Oh, I shouldn't eat this clay technically because it's eating tiebreaker, but whatever. I'm not going to redo. It doesn't matter. Looks like JDI did get punished for playing Lantern House slightly. Although he was only -1 on Lantern House, so it's still a 6-point Lantern House, but it does cost him Constable, which is unfortunate. But oh wait, no, he has Fodder Planner. Wait, did Fodder Planner change the math here on JDI's score? I forgot about him having Fodder Planner, but he was max grade anyhow. I don't know if it mattered. He still can. Oh, he can still. Oh, he could have planted a veg. Oh, you're saying he could have planted a veg and then Madeline via during the fodder planner phase, but he didn't. Yeah, I think JDI failed to take second from me, but that's pretty welcome given that I think JDI made some other mistakes. So, uh, but it does look like JDI maybe was supposed to be able to take second on me with that day labor block. I made some mistakes too. It looks like I probably could have found a better way to execute that, but kudos to Zach. We lose to him again. Zach's a very good player. And we didn't quite find the right path to defeating him. Although, again, it's kind of one of those seeding orders plus drafts. It's really unclear there's any actual winning after Zizek has the hand he drafted and the seeding order that he had. Yeah, we got second. I mean, second's at least welcome after all that. It was pretty nice growing so fast, but then pretty predictably, right? The same issue that always happens with growing so fast, the board just gets gross fast. JDI repeatedly starting obviously was really bad for us. Zach not starting, but I mean Zach didn't need to start, but JDI starting multiple rounds in a row was really a problem. And then yeah, I mean our hand didn't quite gel together quite like Zach's did here. So Zach first picks a private teacher at a carrot museum. You see a baker in the pack. I don't actually know if I take private teacher here, to be fair, though. So kudos to him on his drafting. This definitely gets rewarded. Oh, and you do think about it. But yeah, you really think about it. You were close not to. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough pick. That's definitely a tough pick. There's reasons to do it, but it's a tough pick. You're taking a plowmaker, you have a carrot museum, you want to lean into it. You take the mining hammer, that makes enough sense. Oh, yeah, I forgot Excursion to the Quarry was in this game. I don't know where that wound up, but mildly surprised it didn't get played. I guess maybe it wound up in Red's hand and they have a thing, but here you decided to try to wheel mark a car. Yeah, I mean I think that works most of the time. So you have a sweet clubhouse, that's fine. But yeah, you get a constable. Constable's super dreamy here. Get anything with private teacher that allows you to get wood at the same time is dreamy, and then also like you clearly are. Yeah, I mean like with plowmaker, like yeah, this is gelling super nice. Game catcher, incredibly great to help here with the constable and everything. Have a late game ock when you have a bunch of other kind of early mid game ocks, Beanfield combos. Yeah, this is
This is also just a little bit of what's not been happening to me in drafts lately, where like everything just keeps gelling together with the same game plan, and you just get a super synergistic hand that all like goes together. Like, where was the roof baluster in this draft? Where was the half-timbered house? As long as the Zach is passing me big house cards, okay, you at least de-draft a big house card, to be fair. But yeah, nicely done. Yeah, this is just a sweet hand. I don't think I beat this hand too often, actually. I mean, throwing a lot of grain fields, admittedly, also like really accelerated my game. Although you obviated my need for Young Farmer. I mean, Young Farmer would have been interesting for me this game. That was my first pick, but then this is also what's so funky, right? Like my first pick turns out to not matter because like I just lead into I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually throwing us grain. Fine, I lead into plowing fields early and sowing in them and getting a stone oven, and that worked great for me. So, um, yeah, no, yeah, this is. I mean, just thinking about this is a sweet hand, and it is kind of hard to beat this. And then on top of it, though, things went very nicely for you. I still can't believe that JDI didn't build a room. I guess he had to go for the growing farm in order to ever hit Constable and all this other dreams, but I can't believe JDI didn't build a room and then Lover. Um, he had first room in round 5 handed to him and then declined, which is just wild to me. So I guess the other option is I was supposed to take a bunch of early 2-wood actions, because then I could have tried to build the first room in round 5, although again that would have involved like starting, and yeah, admittedly that game wasn't incredible for me either, because I do think JDI was start player quite a lot, which again is like a constant, mild issue for me. I don't really take start much, but like Zach didn't exactly take start much that game either, right? Like sometimes you just have super strong games taking strong actions and hoping the turn order works out nicely for you. And turn order also just worked out better for Zizak. I mean, okay, Zizak started a little more than I did. I literally started once apparently, but yeah, JDI was start a lot. Red was start quite a bit. So Zizak's just sitting, in a pretty nice spot most of the game too. Which admittedly, that's a way I'm supposed to beat Zizak. I can try to pummel Zizak into actually being fourth seat a while and start player more aggressively. But my hand of minors was awkward, so yeah. The 2 other players ignored room a lot. Yeah, that was weird. You're still shocked that Red did not SP build in mid game when you let him? Yes, that part's true too. Admittedly, the weaker player, I thought I agree. You didn't start player to protect my growth, which I kind of figured was going to happen. And then I agree. I expected to get jumped. So like, admittedly, this game could have gone even worse for me because getting jumped would have been annoying. Instead, I was allowed to I just got to grow third, fourth, fifth. Well, if you add the lover in there, I guess it's later than that. But I had the third, fourth, and fifth family growth action spices, which is pretty dreamy. And that still wasn't good enough for a win here. Although, again, I left so many points on the table, right? Like, I hit 51 without hitting Constable and without having animals. I probably was supposed to just find a way to fence more aggressively faster and then play the stinking animal catcher a little earlier, and then it's pretty easy peasy just hitting day labor a couple times and having way more animal points than I do, and that's just such a huge shift in points too. Even if I lose pottery BMW, like I'm still only probably low to mid 50s though, and then you're still, even if I make it harder for you to score, I just don't know if I have a way to make you score less than like mid 50s this game really. So this might just be another one of those where I faced you and I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. I'm like, yeah, Zizak's a very good player and has a. I don't know how I'm supposed to outplay you here. I guess I could have made different draft choices. I could have taken the Baker super early, but then I don't have Wooden Hut Extender. I have to second pick Wooden Hut Extender. There's really very little else in the draft I can do to influence you because I'm after you instead of in front of you. Yeah, whatever. I think that's what I just have to mentally accept. Like, okay, yeah, this is how it goes, and that is just how it goes sometimes. So whatever's. Okay, well, thanks all for hanging out, chatting. It's been good. It was a fun stream. Looks like we had quite a few people actually, so that was cool. Yeah, maybe fence in 12 was the chance I had, but not clear it's enough for me still. Yeah, it's really unclear. The reason I was scared of fencing in 12 is because if 3 stone gets taken by some of the other players, I might never red out a stone, and that also kind of kills my game. Like, being 4th seat there was bad. Also, like, I'm worried JDI is going to start player in a lot of worlds, and then you're just going to get to fence in 13 anyhow, which is like how much of a difference really, especially given that you have the game catcher. It turns out like very little. Like, okay, you have slightly less animal points maybe, but then that still means you're scoring 58. Like, it, yeah, it's really hard to see what the winning line could have been. I need JDI not to want to start players too aggressively, but that's always the issue with Lantern House. I guess the other argument is I've de-draft Lantern House so that JDI doesn't, play it and start player a bunch in the end game. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And as I said, now realizing too, like maybe there's a world where I'm supposed to actually try to make sure you. Well, yeah. See, this is tough too. You got limited to 3 family members, and you still scored 61. So like during earlier in the game, that's a way I said that maybe you could get slowed down. Is that maybe you at least don't get family growth and you run into slight ceiling issues. But no, like you have a Grange hidden in a Constable game. Like it's just like yeah, I don't know. Your hand is so synergistic and so handy for what you need to do. And then, I mean, you prioritize the right things. You got the well and the joinery. How can you beat that? I mean, but yeah, I mean, more realistically, again, like how am I supposed to handle JDI wanting to just JDI's only thing he cares about is starting, and I have a lot of actions, but there's a lot for me to worry about doing. I want a fence block. I want to start player so I'm not last. I want to take the stones so I don't get blocked on stone reno. I just needed to achieve too much. I had too many pressures and I had to hope for breaks to happen, I think. And they didn't. I probably was supposed to fence block you in 12 anyhow. Because it does turn out that maybe maybe I don't need the stone reno. Like the stone reno is only 5 points. 5 points is huge, but again, it turns out I don't hit constable, and hitting constable is even more important. So maybe at least fence block in 12. Maybe the 3 stone comes back anyhow because JDI start players and there's a hidden roof baluster I don't know about. And I do know excursion to the quarries in the game, so like maybe the 3 stone shouldn't have been that. Maybe I shouldn't have worried about it as much. That's actually like that's one place I probably could have played better, I guess. I should have been able to remember there's an excursion to the quarry somewhere, and there's already been stone injection. I probably get the 3 stone back. I should at least fence block you and cause you some pain. But again, if JDI just start players for you and you get to open fences, I guess maybe there's plow pressure on you then. But there's really no plow pressure because nobody's blocking plow. Just nobody's blocking plow. Red, yeah. It's I'm thinking about it a lot, but I need to accept that. I think my top line analysis is mostly correct. That this game's largely unwinnable. If I made any mistakes, they're pretty minor. Like this is just how Agricola goes sometimes, especially when we're playing arena with weaker players. Drafts go like you had the better seat this game. You definitely want to put a better hand. You might be a better player than me anyhow, and then things went the way you wanted them to. So things did not quite go the way I wanted them to in the end game, and I still at least snagged second, even with nearly getting constable blocked. So gotta be happy enough with that. Uh, Anyhow, yeah, I think I'm gonna head off for a while and go do some other stuff. I might go back to a Slay the Spire stream a little later this afternoon. I might just pop on and do one of those. Actually, see if we can do an A20 silent run, potentially. Because that's been kind of fun lately too. basically, admittedly, part of my problem in Agricola lately is I think I probably should stop playing too many random arena games and stuff, because, like, I'm only kind of playing arena because I'm like, oh, we're trying to see who's the better player, but, like, a lot of these games aren't really about it's a little bit about who the better players are, but it's also a little bit, like, what's the nonsense that happens, and largely you need a lot of games in order to even it all out, and I'm just not playing enough to matter for arena. But anyhow, the point is I don't know. Agricola is fun, but I'm caring slightly too much about the results in Agricola games lately, rather than just having fun playing them. So that's never a good spot to be in. So probably keep exploring some other games and stuff. But yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks all for hanging out. I will see folks around later, everybody.